What is the difference exactly, in your mind, between that there are these stereotypes that associate with crime and such, and that make their way around to a higher likelihood of a presumption of guilt on the part of a black person? What's the difference between that and racism?
So I think it's easier to think about in sort of a real world context. So when there's a shooting of a young African American male, I think we get two stories. If you're watching a conservative show, you're told, well, these are inevitable mistakes. It has nothing to do with race, right? There are thousands of police officers out there. When this happens, it's a tragedy, yes, but it's just inevitable in a country as big as the United States. On the left, you hear a story that, well, this must be about racial hatred, right? This must be that this officer disregards black people, doesn't think black people are worth anything, maybe hates black people. And I think that the story from psychology suggests that actually all of us were overwhelmed by information at any given point. And so we rely on automatic knowledge structures, which just make it possible to be a human being, to interact in the world. And so these shortcuts can often lead to good outcomes. They can help us, right? I can look at you, I can say, okay, he's kind of smiling, he's gonna give me a nice softball question next. Maybe. Those types of cues can be very helpful in planning and in seeing what's going to come in our future, but they can also lead us astray. And so certain things over time get connected. One of the things that gets connected is blackness and violence, blackness and crime. Anyone, watching the program is familiar with all of the television programs that make that link very, very strong. I have a young daughter. She's already being exposed to this stereotypical association. And so when it comes to something like deciding whether someone's holding a gun or not, we've got to make a split-second decision. And what do we rely on? Well, we rely on these automatic connections. Now, that is definitely racial behavior, right? I think to say that this doesn't have anything to do with race is mistaken. It has everything to do with race. The fact that African Americans receive higher bails, the fact that African Americans are more likely to be treated brutally by the police, that has everything to do with race. It's just the pathway that we get there. It's not that judges are KKK members looking to hurt black people. It's not that jurors are looking to convict black people when they would let a white person off. Most of this stuff is happening beyond people's awareness or control, and that's what makes it so dangerous, is that people end up doing this stuff and thinking that they're absolutely egalitarian, that they would treat a black person exactly the same.
From the University of Virginia's Miller Center, this is American Forum.